Thomas Haugh is the ultimate Swiss Army knife. Let's lock in and find out why.
You are Locked On NBA Draft with no ceilings. Your daily podcast on the future stars of the NBA. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome back to Locked On NBA Draft with no ceilings. Thanks as always for making us your first listen of the day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if you win, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started today. My name is Albert Gim, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, PhD in the pick and roll and pepperoni pizza, Corey Tulaba. Corey, fall is here. Basketball is back. The NBA is back. College basketball right around the corner. With that in mind, Corey, give us your favorite fall food item.
Favorite fall food item. I'm a big soup guy.
Oh,
I like a good stew.
Why have I never known this?
Yeah, I love soup. Now, what I'll say is, we have a really great place out on Long Island called the Lobster Roll.
Oh, okay.
It was one of the locations that they filmed The Affair in with Josh Jackson.
Oh,
A lot of Josh Jackson love on this podcast lately. And they have an amazing lobster bisque. And I can always get down with the lobster bisque. I feel like fall is a pretty good time for just to have that heat with the chill. I'm a big, that's where it's at.
You a regular bowl or a bread bowl guy? There's only one right answer.
Well, my heart always says bread bowl.
Yeah.
My head, as a near 40-year-old man, says I should stay away from all of those carbs. But sometimes you got to realize, you're here for a good time, not a long time, baby.
There it is. There it is. Decisive, making moves. I thought you were going to say like apple cider donuts or something. Lobster bisque is an incredible answer. That's such a damn good answer. I'm very jealous of it. I love apple cider. And so this time of the year always gets me thinking of that. Living here in LA, I don't get those vibes anymore. Yeah. I don't see fall foliage.
I went to a cider house 2 weekends ago.
Well, see, rub it in my face. But it's great to be back with you, Corey. And I think we're talking about a guy who I don't think we've talked about him a ton ever. But I'm really intrigued by, and I'm really excited for us to do his breakdown today because I think he's going to be actually a very important player in college basketball this season. We're talking about Thomas Haugh from the University of Florida. Corey, if you can, give us some of the essentials on Thomas Haugh.
Yeah, he's going to be a junior. I guess swing forward. He's he's a forward. I would say he's like a 4, but I think he has enough that you could play him in bigger lineups and utilize him at the 3 too. But he is listed at 6'9" via Florida, 215, which if you listen to our Wednesday episode, that's what Nicholas Avdalas is listed at this year. So, I'm expecting, I feel like Haugh's probably going to weigh more than that, or Avdalas would weigh less than that when measurements come out, because I feel like he's a pretty strong dude. He's going to be pretty old on draft night for a junior, 29.95 years old. So he'll only almost be 23 years old, according to Tankathon. He is a national champion on that Florida team last year. He played a massive role. He played 40 games, 24.4 minutes per game, averaged 9.8 points, 6.1 rebounds, 2.2 assists to 1.1 turnovers, so 2-to-1 assist turnover ratio, 0.8 steals, 0.8 blocks on 48.5, 34, 79.4 shooting splits, 56 effective field goal, 62.4 true shooting, 11.2 BPM via Basketball Reference, which is really good. And then from March 1st on, 12 games, biggest sample of any prospect because, they played in the national championship. He had a 13.6 BPM per Bartorvik, so which is slightly less than Basketball Reference. So it would have been in probably the 14s on Basketball Reference's scale. So he came on those last 12 games in the tournament, just massively influential to the success of the Gators. as you mentioned, the cold open as the ultimate Swiss Army knife for that team.
Corey, I think, man, as I was doing my prep for this, I was so excited to talk about him because of a lot of the stuff that you mentioned. And I think as we get into the deep dive of his offense, Haugh, what I wrote here in my notes, and I think you alluded to as well, extremely influential player. And the thing that moved me, Corey, is that he is so influential without ever needing the ball in his hands.
Mm-hmm.
Guy who just by his being and the way that he carries himself, the way he plays the game, the way that he makes himself available, the way that he plays hard at all times, it has a great influence on the overall flow of their offense of Florida last season. A very good offensive team last year. Walter Clayton, Condon, Elijah Martin. They had a ton of guys, right? Including himself. And I think the biggest thing for me, Corey, as we get into his offense here, the first thing that I had in my notes, unselfish, high IQ, moves well off the ball. And I think those essential aspects of his game make him such a critically important player to any offense. And like for me, the biggest takeaway that I had with him offensively is if he can show more this season, all of the good teams in the NBA, all the good teams in the NBA are going to be fighting over him. They're going to want to add him to their roster. And so, Corey, if you can, give us some of your takeaways from what you saw from him on the offensive end of the floor.
Yeah, my first note is fire. He plays so hard, motor, passion, however you want to define it. He's just always on go, you know? And one of the things I'm interested to see this year, you know, he played 24 and a half minutes per game last year. Like, I think he should see that trend up this season closer to 30, if not at that 30 mark. Is that sustainable in extended minutes? And what does that do for the jump in efficiency that he had from his freshman to sophomore season? Because I absolutely love how hard he plays. 10.7% offensive rebound rate. Like he hammers home the offensive glass and creates second chance opportunities. As you mentioned, like filling in the gaps. Like I think he's got a very diverse shot or like play profile, given how simplistic I think he is, because he's not really somebody who creates a ton with the ball in his hands and initiates stuff. And I don't foresee that changing at Florida this year with Boogie and Xavier Lee. So him being a guy who is going to go set a screen and then he can pop and then he hit 34% of his threes, which is, you know, if he can replicate that, I think that's a good sign. If he improves, that's an even better sign. But then he does have enough gravity that people are going to close to him, and then he can rip and attack in a straight line and get to the basket. I love that about him. He's a good cutter and a smart cutter. You know, like he can just spot up and space off the ball. Now, like the shooting, I think like his form looks good overall, but it's very mechanical. It's very slow. And part of that is because he's got like a pretty pronounced dip in his shot that starts really low before he gets it up. And I want to see if he could speed that up, because at the next level, that's not going to fly. He's got to get that thing off quicker. I mean, the volume is fine. You know, if I could see an uptick, great. 6 3-pointers per 100 possessions. Took 102 catch and shoot jumpers, 32.4%. Wasn't really much of a difference on guarded versus unguarded. Has no in-between game. He's kind of rims and threes, which is good for his efficiency. But, you know, lack of counters is probably something I'd like to see him improve upon. But he gets to the free throw line. Like, he plays with physicality. His free throw rate, 65% free throw rate. So, like, 65% free throw rate. And then, like,
he hits them too.
43.1 3-point rate. Great balance of, like, aggressiveness and finesse there. So, and then a really good connective passer.
Yeah.
Smart. Like, and he just plays so hard, man. Like, he'll finish a play and he's screaming and like bringing energy. He's 6'9".
Yeah.
And I think a real 6'9". Like, he looks like, I think he's going to be like a real 6'9". Like, he's somebody who, even though he's not playing the 5, he does a lot of like center things, and like they utilize him as a screener. Sometimes he'll run handoffs. So I kind of love him as a gap filler, like you said. Like, I really do. He's so good. He's so impactful. He does winning things.
That's the most important thing, Corey. He does winning things. And as I mentioned before, like I really feel like he's the type of guy that like back in the Spurs would be targeting, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
in our current NBA, maybe the OKC Thunder would be
Yeah.
really interested.
Celtics,
Celtics, right?
Pacers.
Yeah. It's the biggest thing with me is I think he's going to be able to show more this year, even with the influx of talent that's coming in. We mentioned Boogie Flan, Xavier Lee. There's firepower coming into the team. And yet, where I think he could get interesting, Corey, is as a screener. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like in the tournament, they utilized him really well as like a pick and pop guy. He
Mm-hmm.
looked pretty good doing that. I'm excited to see more of that. There were a couple times where, as a screener, he would slip.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, are we going to get some short roll action from him? And because the thing with Haugh is that he's not bad with the ball in his hands. He can handle the ball. Nothing flashy, nothing creative, but very solid with the ball in his hands. And I'm like,
He's not going to dribble it off his foot.
correct. But the thing is, if he can do some of that short roll stuff because he is a good passer, he's also a very good interior passer, Corey, showing really good chemistry and connectivity with Condon. They played really well off of each other. You can even run, I don't know, potentially maybe even run like a big pick and roll. Obviously not all the time, but once in a blue moon. I think it adds more versatility and intrigue to his offensive game. And if he can up the shooting, Corey, to him being a better shooter from outside, you start to get really excited about the type of player that he can be. Because right now, I'm kind of envisioning him as almost like a taller Josh Hart type of guy right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like a 6'8", plug in the gap. I mean, the reason why Josh Hart is so valuable to the Knicks is because he does so much of the stuff that the other guys need him to be. Like Jalen Brunson really needs Josh Hart to be, right? And to help on the boards, to be versatile defensively, offensively, filling the gaps, being a cutter, attacking the offensive boards. A lot of that is Thomas Haugh, you know? And so if this is going to be a year where Florida repeats, we're going to see a lot of that again from what he did last year, but then also with a little bit more on his plate where he's doing more interesting things and they're utilizing him in different ways. And so, Corey, just to piggyback off of what you said, I just think offensively, he may not be like a rock star at anything, but maybe his rock star ability or his superpower is what you mentioned, playing like his hair is on fire, playing really hard, really aggressive, staying locked in, and being a selfless, high IQ player who's just going to plug all the gaps and be that Swiss Army knife. And so, with that being said, Corey, as exciting and as versatile as he is on the offensive end, he's also got some real versatility on the other end of the ball. And we'll get into that defense right after this break. Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You play for the win, not just on game day, every day, locking in on every opening, beating your PR, beating it again. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control of your money. You can trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all in one platform. You can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood Legacy's advanced tools, or take advantage of the new Robinhood strategies with a tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself and expect more from your money. Get started today at robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. We're also sponsored today by DoorDash. The NBA season is here. It's heating up, and DoorDash has found the perfect way to keep fans in their bag all season long. Whether you're watching for the highlights, your fantasy team, or just your favorite player, DoorDash makes every game night even better. I don't know if you guys knew this, but DoorDash is the official on-demand delivery platform of the NBA, and they're celebrating with something called the Bag Drop. Every time an NBA player scores 50 points in a game, DoorDash will drop 50% off your order with Dash Pass the next day, and you're automatically entered for a chance to win the ultimate fan bag. We're talking player-inspired drip, exclusive gear, and stuff you'll actually want. Obviously, my wife and I, we've got a young child at home. We order DoorDash sometimes. We're tired and a long day of work and, watching our daughter. And sometimes you just want to order out, right? And if you're going to do it, DoorDash is the best place to do it. So next time someone goes off for 50, use promo code NBA50 the next day to get 50% off on DoorDash with Dash Pass, plus your shot at the bag drop. Dash Pass Dash Pass members only, 50% off up to $10 a day after a 50-point game with promo code. Terms apply. No purchase necessary. Ends April 13th. Open to U.S. residents 21 or older. Visit DoorDashInYourBag.com for full details. DoorDash in your bag all season long. I need to dash to pass this over to you, Corey, because I struggled with Dash Pass 15 times there. But Corey, we're back and we're talking about Thomas Haugh and his defense. This is the side of the floor, Corey, where I was like, I cannot wait to get into this with Corey, because as fun and versatile as he is offensively, I liked so much of his defense as well. Yeah. And there was stuff here where I was like, I started to like ball up my fist and I was like, I love this dude. And he's doing stuff on this end of the floor that I'm just like, I can't imagine an NBA coach turning on this film and being like, I don't think I'm interested. There's a lot to work with here with Haugh as a defender. And I'm not saying he's a perfect defender, but a couple of things that I wanted to highlight. The first thing is the versatility. He's a guy that I think will easily be able to guard multiple positions, as he already has in college. He showed last season. But he's got real mobility to him. We mentioned the 6'9" size. He's got length and strength as well. I don't know his measurables, but I think he's long enough. The effort piece is never going to go anywhere. That's a part of his brand, his identity. He is a high effort, high energy defensive player, right? Very active, obviously, on the defensive glass as well. It's and the biggest thing that I wrote here, Corey, in my notes, he's a guy that you're going to love playing with, will hate playing against, because he does not turn it off. The switch does not go up or down. He's a very pesky defender who will get under your shirt, he'll get in under your skin. You're going to hate having him around because he plays aggressive. He's in your airspace. He makes life just awkward and difficult and uncomfortable. That's Thomas Haugh to me as a defender. And I'm very intrigued. So, Corey, if you can, give us some of your thoughts on Haugh as a defender.
Yeah, I mean, strong, tough, physical, motor. You mentioned like he doesn't quit on plays. He's going to try for chase down blocks. Just like 3.2 block percentage, 1.8 steal percentage. So like, good like stock stuff. I think he gets into a stance. He plays with physicality, the size and the movement. It allows him to guard up and down the lineup. I think at the next level, he'll have to get a little bit more nimble to stay with like quicker guards. But like, I think he's fine at the college level. He did share like center responsibilities too. So like you'll see him in either like a drop as like the big in playing defense, or like a slight drop, not like a deep drop, or like showing and playing at the level. So, he kind of knows how to do that. He's used as like a weak side roamer when he's off the ball, and he's got really good instincts. Just overall, I think he's got good instincts. He knows when to dig. He knows when to tag. He knows when to go over and, get vertical or try to block a shot at the rim. I do think he's a little heavy footed. And it shows in like his recovery ability where he like digs and then he's got to like close out in distance. Or when he's like chasing like a player that plays off more movement and he's got to like navigate screens and try to get around. So there's like that's what you see, like a little like stiffness or heavy footedness, but like the motor and the effort don't wane. So like he's still trying to make a play on those. But like, yeah, I think he's like your prototypical, like this guy's not going to get bullied at the next level. He plays with physicality. He's going to go rebound the ball and crash, and try to like end possessions there. And he kind of has shown like versatility and switchability, and he's got like the requisite like athletic numbers too. If you're looking for that, he's really good. He's just really good. He's really impactful. It's not like his, like when we were talking about like something like his BPM earlier, where it's like, oh, he's got like 11 whatever BPM. It's not like it was like 9.5% offensive and then like he's a sieve defensively. Like no, it's like 4.5% or something like that defensive. So like good distribution of a two-way player. He's a two-way player, and he might be a role player. He will definitely be a role player.
Yes.
Like no doubt about it. I don't think he has at his age, like any untapped like star equity, but he will star in his role.
God, the build up to that was beautiful, Corey. I was waiting for that line. because it's exactly how I feel, and you're the one who coined it. And I think, Corey, with him, it's as simple as this. When it comes to winning time in college basketball this season, if you had to pick 5 guys that you want on the floor, I think he gets it.
Like, yeah, he's one of you can make a strong argument. He's one of the spots.
I think any roster in the country, you can find a spot for Thomas Haugh to be on your team playing in crunch time, because he is that important. And the importance piece doesn't come from him doing all these flashy things. He's just going to do a lot of things right. And he's kind of one of these guys where you just kind of set it and forget it type of thing, where you put him on the floor and you're not worried. Like, he's going to figure things out. You're not going to freak out. It's just he's going to be almost like a comfort blanket for a lot of people, and especially for Florida this season. And when we think about his NBA outlook, a lot of teams are going to be like, well, you know what? At the end of the first round, end of the lottery, you know what I want to add? I want to add a 6'9" guy who plays his ass off on both ends of the floor. That sounds interesting to me.
He's got a lottery path. He's got a lottery path. He might be, I think Quaintance is the top returner. Haugh is, I think, maybe the most realistic runner-up to that spot as top returner.
Corey, there's also a world where he gets drafted before Quaintance.
I don't know. I don't know if I could see it. Quaintance so young. His measurable, like, teams. I think teams are betting on the upside, and I think if Haugh was younger, maybe. But the draft is unpredictable, so you
never know.
It takes one. You know what I want to see? December 2nd, Duke is playing Florida, and I want to see the Boozer Haugh matchup, because I feel like, Boozer is a significantly better prospect.
Yes.
But they're not all dissimilar in how they approach the game of basketball. And I want to see those two just like bang with each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's going to be a great test for Haugh. It's going to be one of these things where it's like, if he holds up well against Boozer, then you go, well, this is going to translate to the next level.
And a good test for Boozer too.
Correct. A great test for him as well. Well, Corey, I think clearly we're excited about Thomas Haugh and the type of player that he might be. And I think we've mentioned a couple NBA names already of guys that we might be comparing him to, but we'll get into those comps right after this break. All right, fellas, let's have a talk. Got to be real here. Making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've all heard them before. It's just stress. I'm tired. It happens to everyone sometimes. I drank too much. There are a million different excuses, right? But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support. And that's where Rugiet comes in. Rugiet.com offers fast-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Fellas, at the end of the day, sometimes when you've got a problem and you've got a situation, it's better to address it. And thankfully, we have Rugiet, who's got a solution that might be just the perfect amount of support that you need to make things alive again, right? And so if you're interested, visit rugiet.com/LockedOnNBA to get 15% off your first order. That's rugiet.com/LockedOnNBA. And don't forget to use our code LockedOnNBA so they know that we sent you. Rugiet, stop making excuses and start making moves. We're also sponsored today by our friends from FanDuel. As you guys know, we are in the thick of the NFL season, and FanDuel has an offer that you absolutely don't want to miss. Right now, new customers, you can bet $5. If that bet hits, you're going to get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. And we are in an extremely exciting part of the season. We're starting to learn a lot about teams and what they're going to be about. Last week, I gave you guys an absolutely terrible suggestion when I said maybe the Dolphins might be a little frisky. Obviously, I missed on that one. But there's a lot of exciting NFL action going on. If you watched that Denver Giants game last week, unbelievable stuff there. Who could have seen that one, right? But overall, if you're excited about the NFL season, you want to make some bets, you got to do it at FanDuel. This is an offer that you absolutely cannot miss. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. All right, Corey, we are back, and we've got some comps.
Yeah,
And
let's go.
this is what we do. This is crunch time for us, winning time, as they like to say. Corey, give us some of your comps for our Swiss Army knife, Thomas Haugh.
I mean, I'm obsessed with the Josh Hart, the big Josh Hart comp. That might be your best work. Because I was struggling. To be honest, I was struggling with what player looks like him at the NBA. So I thought Tari Eason, Tari was more disruptive defensively. I think there's a little more structure to how plays. But in Houston, Tari Eason is everywhere in his limp. He's playing 20 minutes a game and he's just bringing that energy and just being a disruptor. But then there's also a Dario Saric type of game too. So it's a combination of those guys. Maybe on the lower end, it's some Chidi Osman, who he had some okay shooting years, but he was a good connector, big, tall, could fill the gaps. So, but I love the Josh Hart comp.
Okay, I mean, and that one wasn't even in my list of comps. It just kind of flew from the top of my head. You can call me, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good freestyle rapper. Obviously, I'm not a freestyle rapper. I have some names here, Corey, and I think they're more of
freestyle rappers.
No, I'm Asian, so who would it be? MC Jin. Okay, let me think of. Let me think of some guys.
He had
an unbelievable
a
run.
Moment.
Yeah, unbelievable run on Freestyle Fridays. If you don't remember that, you're too young.
YouTube.
But anyway,
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube it. Okay, so I have a couple of high-end comps, Corey, that I think will be difficult for him to get to, but if we're dreaming, we might as well dream, right? First name that I have here, and obviously not one-to-one, blah, blah, blah. And these guys are honestly all better defenders than he is, but I still wanted to put this up here as a ceiling comp. First one, Andrei Kirilenko. Obviously a lot to do to get to that point, but still wanted to throw that in there. Who else did I have? I also had Tayshaun Prince.
Okay.
I get it. Far to get there.
It's stylistic.
Yeah. Last one. And this is the modern one was hard, Corey, because you don't have a lot of guys in the NBA until I found Josh Hart taller. Yeah. A Jaden McDaniels, maybe. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. Less creation.
Correct.
Ability.
Correct. Maybe. Tiny hint. It's the modern one that was the hardest one.
Maybe some Denny.
Okay. That's a good one.
Less ball handling skills, but maybe a similar role.
Yeah. I actually like that one a lot, actually. Okay, so maybe we're landing at a tall Josh Hart, maybe Denny Avdia type of situation.
Yeah, maybe.
It works. It works for me. Yeah, I think, but overall, Corey, I think this is why we're so intrigued by him, is because he's very productive. He contributes to winning. He's proven to be a winner now that he's a champion, defending champs. But also there's this NBA ceiling that we can start to dream about, right? Because we don't have too many guys in the league that look like him. And yet we feel all the things that he's good at, these skill sets are going to make him successful in the NBA as well. And so it just feels like there's a very nice path for him to figure things out and to be a very effective NBA player, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely does. It's we can already say he's a winner because he's won.
Right.
Florida has a real chance to go back to back.
Yes.
And he's got a real path to making slight improvements to his game that will make a massive difference.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He's got a couple of areas he just needs to get a little better at that are going to make him a really, really, really good a great prospect.
Yeah.
As is, if he just kind of continues on this trajectory, he's already a pretty a good prospect that's going to fill in the gaps and Denver has with Christian Brown, who just got a massive payday. I mean, these guys are valuable, right? And he's 6'9". There's just a path for him.
Yeah. The last thing I'll say, Corey, you just mentioned the Denver thing. Also kind of reminds me of what Bruce Brown did for them when they won the title.
Yeah.
How important Bruce Brown was and how after he left, they weren't really able to completely replace him and all the little intangible things that he did for them. that could be Thomas Haugh, but at 6'9". Like, how could you not be enticed by that? And so
Yeah.
anyway, Corey, we'll wrap here. We've really enjoyed, obviously, this breakdown, and we've really enjoyed bringing these pods to you guys weekly. We have more exciting content coming for you guys next week, more guys that we're going to be breaking down. But we do want to say we thank you, as always, for making us your first listen of the day. My name's Albert. He's Corey. We'll be rocking with you guys soon again.